Oh, all you beautiful people, I have a new run to show you. I've been doing these creator challenges just for fun when I have time, and I did a good one. I'm so excited to share this with you. Okay, let's go back and tell you some of the rules while we're getting set up here. The goal is to get as many different food items, not, a bunch of the same thing, but different food items in 10 minutes. Which is why I gave myself a clock. You'll be able to see it there on my bar the whole time. We're going to reset today so that when the clock does a full rotation or a half rotation, it'll be 10 minutes. So there is a trick that I kind of figured out mentally. So there are pigs, chickens, cows, sheep, salmon, and cod. Okay, with those 6 basic meat items, you can cook each one of them and turn them into a cooked version as well. So you always get 2 of each. So that is 12 instantly. In my mind, 12 is the base number that you're starting with when trying to do one of these challenges. After that, the only thing I'm really keeping track of in my head is how many other than those items are you finding. Are you finding different vegetables? Are you finding bread? Are you finding, unique items around the world like mushroom soup? So that's what I'm trying to keep track of in my head at this moment. Also, I've realized that I can usually just punch out 4 tree trunks to get myself 2 axes and a pickaxe. But I only had to do 3 on this run because I was lucky enough to find this sword earlier in the game. And the best thing about the sword is it has fire, or blaze, or whatever on it that it will instantly cook half of these animals. So I need to make sure and kill half of them with the sword and half of them with the axe. And then I cut down on some time having to cook it later. Another aspect of the rules is villages. They realize that villages are a little OP if there's lots of farms in them. So they didn't want to give that much power to a village. So you're not allowed to get anything from the farms or like hay bales in a village. You can only have the items that you find inside of a chest. Now, obviously, killing the animals here inside the village are fine, but it's the things that are planted or grown already in a village that you're not supposed to get. You're supposed to leave that stuff alone. Now, this was a mega find. These apples and this bread is perfect. I spent so much time at the end of a lot of my attempts trying to hack away at an oak tree, trying to get an apple. Well, I have them instantly right now, and it was really a big find for me on this run. I've been having a lot of bad luck with the villages so far in my runs, but this one came up with 3 items. 3 unique items above those base 12 that I told you about. The apples, the loaf of bread, and the potato. This really has kind of vaulted this run. As you see, I'm really kind of speeding around a little extra now, realizing that I actually have some potential in this run to make something much better than the ones that I've been doing before, and definitely beating my previous score. Now, things were actually going a little too well. I kind of lost track of what food I had actually obtained, so I had to do a little bit of organizing and making sure I had 2 of everything. As you see here, I don't. I actually need pork. I need a cooked pork, so hopefully I'll find another pig coming up. But I quickly ran around the village hoping to find one last thing. I don't know what I was thinking. I already had 3 items from these chests. There probably wasn't going to be anything else. So I moved on to get some cobblestone. Now, if you remember, I have this flame sword, so I don't really need to cook most of my food. That really did cut down on the amount of time I'm going to need for cooking food. But you can't use a flame sword underwater. I don't know. That's crazy, right? Why don't they let you use a flame sword underwater? That just seems so weird. But that's what they decided to do, so I'm going to need to be able to cook the fish once I be able to find some. Now, you'd think I'd go for this pumpkin right over here that you saw on the left. I tried a few times to do some pumpkin pies, and I just decided I just don't have the time to get all the ingredients, particularly the eggs. because that's a time-based thing. You have to wait around for the chicken to actually lay its egg after you found a chicken. You very rarely just come up on a chicken that had just spawned and there's an egg already there. So I decided that pumpkins weren't really the best thing to do in a 10-minute time span. They were pretty much a waste of time. So I just left those alone and went on to bigger and better things. So now's the part in the video where I am showing you why I actually got more than just 2 of every animal. You definitely run out of steam running around trying to do all this stuff quickly. So I made sure and got enough of some of the animals so I could eat some food. I didn't just chow and make myself full because I'm not worried about my hearts. That's not what I want to do. I just want to be able to eat as little as possible to be able to quickly run off and continue running around the world. I found one of the harder things to do was making sure I've picked up both the fish. You think when you hit it, if you're right there, you get it in your inventory. But I think it goes down in the water before it comes up, and so sometimes you just miss it. This is a play actually for the rotten flesh. That's a quick item you can get, and I decided that the ocean or the waters and getting them from the drowned was the best source for that, since I'm not sticking around till nighttime. Now, if you remember from my last video, I had a hard time finding cod. I've since learned that cod are only in ocean biomes. So I knew that I had to swim further out to see if I was going to find some cod. That's what I did. I have both of them now, and I'm good to go. But I do want to pick up, this is the thing I missed in the last run, or the last good run that I posted, was the seagrass, sea kelp, or kelp. Yeah, because you can turn that into cooked kelp that you can end up eating. Now, unfortunately, it's pretty far away. I wasn't sure which one I could run to or swim to. The water was making it kind of hard to tell which one was closer and which one was further. So I just kind of tried swimming to a couple of them. I picked one. I don't know if it was the closest one. I hope it was. But it did work out. I was able to get this and fix a mistake that I made in the previous video. You know, sometimes you make mistakes, you know, and that's okay. Mistakes happen. It's only a problem if you make the mistake again and you don't learn from the mistake that you had before. And so I think I've proven that I can learn from my mistakes. If only my whole life turned out this smoothly. So I realized halfway through this run that I did not pick up anything to cook in this, or to use as fuel in the smelter. That was definitely a mistake. I could have done a little bit better if I had just pulled down a couple extra logs, but I decided that I was going to go to the nearest tree I could find and go ahead and grab some and get that going. I don't want it to get too late in the day. If you see the clock down there, we are approaching the end of this run. And so I didn't want to wait to the last second. I wanted to do some cooking. So let's speed through the cooking just real quick. I was counting things while I was cooking, and I feel really good about this run. I think it's going to be a top tier run. I can't imagine really beating it. I'm just kind of double checking my things, kind of counting. I'm in the middle of a grass field. What else am I going to find to be able to make or to eat? So I'm just going to do one last check, look through all things, and I missed something. I don't have a cooked pork. It's nowhere in there. So real quick, before the time runs out, we'll throw that log in there, we'll throw some pork in there, we'll get it cooking, and hopefully we'll keep an eye on the clock here on the left, and hopefully before it runs out, I will have my cooked pork, and we will have our final number, which is, I gotta say, pretty sweet. All right, there it is. Good night. The run is over. I did so good. Oh man. Let's make it daytime and we'll count it up for good. All right, let's take a look. 1, 2, not that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and the potato is 18. I couldn't believe it, a run of 18. That was way better than my previous run, and I think I'm going to stop trying to run this now. I don't think I could get any better than this. So that's it. My final run for the What's on the Menu challenge. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you found it adequate.